Okay. I have. He said they were all supposed to go in the council. Council meeting. I now call this meeting to order.
I would like to welcome all of our men and women in uniform this afternoon. Thanks for being here. I'd like to especially recognize you. At this time, I would ask that you stand and render the proper salute for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Could I have a motion on the minutes, please? We have a motion on the minutes to approve with a proper second. Any questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Hill. Councilman Ledford. Councilman Hester. Councilwoman Burris. Councilwoman Dotley. Councilman Byrd. Vice Chairman Smith.
Yes.
Chairman Henderson.
Yes,
8 yeses.
the ayes do have it. We have no special presentations this afternoon. Moving now into your order of business for the city council. We have no ordinances on final reading. Moving to ordinances on first reading under Public Works and Parks. Madam Clerk, if you would read 6A and B, please, if there's no objection from the council.
Item A, an ordinance closing and abandoning a portion of an open alley and unopened right of way west of the 700 block of Central Avenue is detailed on the attached map, subject to certain conditions. Item B, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 24, Article 14, Section 24502, Schedule 2, speed on through streets.
Councilman Byrd,
Move to approve.
we have a motion on the floor to approve items 6A and B with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments from the council? If not, roll call, please.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Dotley,
Yes.
Councilwoman Burris. Councilman Hester,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford. Councilwoman Hill,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
8 yeses.
motion to approve carries 8-0 for items 6A and B. Moving now into planning. Ms. Rennick, you want to join us at the podium, please? Mr. IT, and I guess you'll need to get our cases up on the screen. Madam Clerk, if you would read 6C, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone properties located at 3916 and 3920 Murray Hill Drive from R1 residential zone to C2 convenience commercial zone, subject to certain conditions.
Mr. Vice Chair? Oh, okay. Is the applicant present? 2021-0108. Okay. Applicant present? Any opposition present? Mr. Vice Chair?
Move to deny.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to deny with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hill,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford, Councilman Hester,
Yes.
Councilwoman Burris, Councilwoman Dotley,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
8 yeses.
motion to deny 6C carries 8-0. D, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone properties located at 1744 Part and 1746 Eagle Drive from R1 residential zone to R1 residential zone and C2 convenience commercial zone, subject to certain conditions.
Case 2021-0109, is the applicant present? Is there any opposition present? Mr. Vice Chair?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I did speak with the developer of this project earlier today, who was in communication with the applicant and expressed the desire to withdraw this case. So I move to withdraw, sir.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to withdraw with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? Madam Clerk?
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Dotley,
Yes.
Councilwoman Burris, Councilman Hester,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford, Councilwoman Hill,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith, Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
8 yeses.
so moved. Moving now to E, Madam Clerk.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone properties located in the 6,000 blocks of Big Ridge Road from R1 residential zone to R3 residential zone.
Case number 2021-0112. Is the applicant present? He is present. Is there any opposition present? Okay. Mr. Vice Chair, we do have the applicant and opposition present. Would you like to have presentation?
Actually, sir, I'd like to hear from the opposition. I know the case, but there was, due to a mislabeling on this item, I think there's still some confusion out there as to where it actually is located. And I had planned to defer this for 2 weeks to get a legal correction on the language, but I would still like to hear, the opposition did take the time to come down. I'd like to hear if it's about the potential of the wrong address or if there's another concern with the case.
I'll tell you what, just to follow our process, let's give the applicant their 7 minutes first, and then we'll hear from the opposition. Applicant, please. Mr. IT, could you give us a clock of 7 minutes? One second while we get the clock going. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Mike Price, MAP Engineers. The request is rezone a portion of the property from R1 to R3 for apartments. There is a plan that does leave approximately 450 feet of the property from Big Ridge Road towards Hickson Pike as remaining R1 and to be left as green space. So the intent is to leave that upper portion as it is along Big Ridge Road undeveloped, and which is in keeping with the same conditions for the low water bridge apartments, which are immediately south of this development. So with that, I'm going to end any comments at this point, because I think that may be the issue at hand that the opposition has, and then let them state whatever issues or concerns they may have. Thank you.
Okay, you still will be afforded your 2-minute rebuttal.
Thank you.
Okay, opposition for this case?
Okay,
They will have, hold on one second, they will have 9 minutes in total. All right,
for
go
the
ahead.
most part, I don't really have an issue with the
For the record, would you give us your name, please?
Michael Allen.
Oh, thank you.
My issue is with the notice section, 2021-0112, where it says properties in the 6,000 blocks of Big Ridge Road. If that was changed to 6,800, which I think would cover the issue, I'd be fine with it. It's just from 6,000 to 6,799. We would not want any R3.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Vice Chair, hold on one second, sir.
Yes, that would be the error in the headline on this case. That should actually be the 6,000 blocks of Hickson Pike and not Big Ridge Road. So that will be corrected. I'm planning to defer this for 2 weeks, have all the language corrected. The area you're speaking of is not in consideration for this evening.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Price, you want a 2-minute rebuttal? No, you're good. Okay. All right, Mr. Vice Chair.
Thank you, sir. So we've just covered one of the issues that I do need to get cleared up. A second one does have to do with conditions that were not included originally because a portion of the plan was not part of the rezone, and that is the R1 area that Mr. Price specified would be left undeveloped, to which I'm going to have added as a condition. So, Mr. Chair, I would like to move to defer for 2 weeks and ask that RPA add an alternate version with the changes that we had discussed previously for 8/24, please.
Okay, Motion on the floor to defer until August the 24th. Do I have a second?
Second.
With a proper second. Any questions or comments before we vote? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hill,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford, Councilman Hester,
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs, Councilwoman Dottley,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes.
8 yeses.
Motion to defer until August 24th carries 8-0.
Thank you.
All right, moving now to F, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance. So it's a rezone property located at 2511 Jenkins Road from R1 residential zone to C2 convenience commercial zone.
Case number 2021-0114. Is the applicant present? Is there any opposition present? Councilman Ledford?
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to make this as painless as possible and move to deny.
Second.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to deny with a proper second. Questions or comments from the council? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Dottley,
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs,
Yes.
Councilman Hester,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford, Councilwoman Hill,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
8 yeses.
motion to deny carries. 6G, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance. So as to rezone property located at 7453 East Brainerd Road from C2 convenience commercial zone to UGC urban general commercial zone, subject to certain conditions.
Case 2021-0115. Is the applicant present? Okay. Is there any opposition present? Seeing no opposition, Councilman Ledford.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Is the applicant okay with the conditions? Very good. I move to approve, sir.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor to approve item 6G with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments from the council before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hill,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford, Councilman Hester,
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs,
Yes.
Councilwoman Dottley,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
8 yeses.
so moved. 6H, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance. So as to rezone property located at 8187 East Brainerd Road from R1 residential zone and R2 residential zone to O1 office zone, and RTZ residential townhouse zero lot line zone, subject to certain conditions.
Case 2021-0118. Is the applicant present? Oh, okay. Thank you, sir. Any opposition to this case is present? Seeing an applicant but no opposition, Councilman Ledford.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Is the applicant okay with the conditions? I move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor to approve 6H with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hill,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford, Councilman Hester,
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs,
Yes.
Councilwoman Dottley,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
8 yeses.
the ayes have it. Moving now to 6I, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance. So as to rezone properties located at 5217 Hunter Road and 8627 Hilltop Drive from C2 convenience commercial zone and M1 manufacturing zone to M1 manufacturing zone.
Case 2021-0119. Is the applicant present? Is there any opposition to this case present? Councilwoman Burrs.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The applicant isn't here because I told him he didn't have to come in because we're going to defer for 2 weeks.
And that is in the form of a motion
Yes, till the 24th.
to the 24th.
Yes.
Motion on the floor to defer until August the 24th. Do I hear a second? A motion to defer to August the 24th with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Dottley,
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs, Councilman Hester,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford, Councilwoman Hill,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes.
8 yeses.
Motion to defer until August the 24th carries 8-0. Moving now to 6J, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone two properties addressed as 2512 Coward Street from R3 residential zone to UGC urban general commercial zone, subject to certain conditions.
Case number 2021-0110. Is the applicant present? Any opposition present? Councilwoman Dotley.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor to approve items 6J with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hill,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford, Councilman Hester,
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs,
Yes.
Councilwoman Dotley, Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
8 yeses.
so moved. Last of our planning items, 6K, please.
In ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone properties located in the 700 block of East Martin Luther King Boulevard from URA3 urban residential attached 3-story zone to UCX3 urban commercial mixed use 3-story zone.
Case 2021-0111. Is the applicant present? Is there any opposition to this case present? I see an applicant, but no opposition. Councilman Byrd.
Thank you, Chair. I haven't received any opposition to this case, so I move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilman Byrd, Councilwoman Dotley, Councilwoman Burrs,
Yes.
Councilman Hester,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hill,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
8 yeses.
motion carries. Moving now to resolutions under economic development. Madam Clerk, 7A, please.
A resolution considering short-term vacation rental application number 21 STVR 73 for property located at 1605 Reed Avenue.
Councilwoman Dotley.
Move to table for the applicant's request.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to table item 7A with a proper second. Any questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hill,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford, Councilman Hester,
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs,
Yes.
Councilwoman Dotley, Councilman Byrd, Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
8 yeses.
motion to table 7A carries 8-0. Now, Madam Clerk, if there are no objections from the council, would you read 7B and C together, please?
Item B, a resolution authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into amendment number 1 and a third agreement to exercise option to renew with Friends of the Zoo, Inc. in substantially the form attached to extend the term for an additional period of 6 months to the date of March 17, 2022. Item C, a resolution authorizing the administrator of community development to award up to $80,000 in program income generated from the Tennessee Housing Development Agency's THDA housing program to Chattanooga Property Group LLC to assist rehabilitating 2 affordable rental units located at 2602 and 2602.5 14th Avenue.
Councilman Byrd,
Move to approve.
we have a motion on the floor to approve items 7B and C with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Dotley,
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs,
Yes.
Councilman Hester,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford, Councilwoman Hill,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
8 yeses.
motion to approve items 7B and C does carry 8-0. Moving now to the mayor's office. Madam Clerk, 7D, please.
A resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's appointment of Tiffany Bell to the Beer and Record Board for District 9 with a term expiration of July 31st, 2022.
What is the pleasure of the council?
Move to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Any questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hill,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford, Councilman Hester,
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs,
Yes.
Councilwoman Dotley,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes.
8 yeses.
So moved. We welcome Ms. Bell to the Beer and Record Board. Now, Madam Clerk, 7E, please.
A resolution to declare Chattanooga a World War II Heritage City.
Councilman Ledford,
Move to approve, Chairman.
Second.
we have a motion on the floor to approve item 7E with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments before we vote on this item? Roll call, please.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Dotley,
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs,
Yes.
Councilman Hester,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford, Councilwoman Hill,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes.
8 yeses.
So moved. Now, Madam Clerk, if there are no objections from the council, let's take 7F through L. F through L under Parks and Public Works.
Item F, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to approve change order number 1 final for Robert Roberts LLC of Chattanooga, Tennessee, relative to contract number R 20017202 Summit of Softball Complex Improvements from the Easter Tornado 2020 dugout and score stands replacements for the decreased amount of $16,114.35 to release the remaining contingency amount of $30,000 for revised contract amount of $212,835.68. Item G, a resolution authorizing the city of Chattanooga to enter into an agreement with and accept a donation from the Chattanooga Design Studio of multiple elements installed at Patton Porch in the amount of $93,278.67. Item H, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to award contract number S180100201 Brandon Avenue Drainage Improvements to Wright Brothers Construction Company, Inc. of Charleston, Tennessee, in the contract amount of $769,506 plus a contingency amount of $76,950 for an amount not to exceed $846,456. Item I, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to approve change order number 2 final for Wright Brothers Construction Company, Inc. of Charleston, Tennessee, relative to contract number D 180020201 gravity sewer relocation, former Harriet Tubman home site, for an increased amount of $34,546.99 to release the remaining contingency amount of $85,453.01 for revised contract amount of $1,294,646.09. Item J, a resolution authorizing year 2 of a 5-year term for the on-call blanket contracts to supply horticultural and green infrastructure consultation, materials, and maintenance for various city properties per resolution number 30301 with the following vendors: 1, Circadian Consulting LLC, 2, Davis Key Outdoor LLC, 3, Hickory Hardscapes LLC, and 4, Sweeping Corporation of America for the renewal of the 1-year blanket contracts for horticultural and green infrastructure services estimated at $1 million total annually for all 4 vendors for use by Public Works water quality. Item K, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to approve change order number 2 for Jacobs Engineering Group, Inc. for contract number E 200100201 disaster recovery management services contract for the renewal of year 2 of the 4-year term blanket contract for the increased amount of $33,620 for revised contract amount of $316,907. Item L, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to apply for and, if awarded, accept a grant from EPB to support the Regional Resilience Planning Project for a total amount of $5,000 and to approve change order number 1 for planning project for change order number 1 final for Stantec relative to Regional Resiliency Planning Project for an increased amount of $10,000 for a revised contract amount of $210,000.
Councilman Hester and Councilwoman Hill, I see your light. Councilman Hester, I think I may have included something that needed to be deferred in our Public Works Committee today. Didn't we talk about K needing to be deferred for a week?
That's correct.
Okay. So Madam Clerk, let's take K. We'll take K out of this bundle. So council, what we will need is a motion on the floor for 7F, G, H, I, J, and L.
So moved.
All right, do I have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion on the floor for 7F, G, H, I, J, and L with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments concerning these items? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hill,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford, Councilman Hester,
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs,
Yes.
Councilwoman Dotley,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes.
8 yeses.
Motion to approve 7F, G, H, I, J, and L carries 8-0. Now, Madam Clerk, let's go back to 7K, please. Read that.
A resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to approve change order number 2 for Jacobs Engineering Group, Inc. for contract number E20010-201 Disaster Recovery Management Services Contract for the renewal of year 2 of the 4-year term blanket contract for the increased amount of $33,620 for a revised contract amount $316,907.
All right. Vice Chair Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It is my understanding, we discussed this earlier today, and we are going to defer this item. I don't recall if a 1 week or a 2 week was
I
necessary
believe it
on
was
this.
1 week. Yeah, till August the 17th.
Till August 17th, please.
All right, the motion on the floor is to defer until August the 17th. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a proper second. Any questions or comments before we vote on item 7K? Roll call, please.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Dotley,
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs,
Yes.
Councilman Hester,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford, Councilwoman Hill,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes.
8 yeses.
Motion to defer until August the 17th carries 8-0. That concludes our items for approval on the agenda. Now we move into purchases. Is Julia present? Yeah, there she is.
Good evening, council. We have 2 purchases this evening. First is from the police department. This is for the purchase of 2 unique weather-resistant CLE advanced camera systems with pole mounts. The award will go to Valorance LLC as a sole source vendor. The annual estimated spend is $27,775. The second purchase is from the Waste Resources Division of Public Works. This is the first of 2 renewal options for a blanket contract with Source Technologies LLC for liquid calcium nitrate. A 4% price increase was submitted at renewal for a total annual estimated spend of $1,800,000.
All right, what's the pleasure of the council?
Second.
We have a motion on the floor to approve tonight's purchases with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hill, Councilman Ledford, Councilman Hester,
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs,
Yes.
Councilwoman Dotley,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes.
8 yeses.
So moved. Moving now to our committee reports. Councilwoman Hill. Councilman Ledford. Councilman Hester.
We met today. We're going to meet again in 2 weeks.
Thank you, sir. Councilwoman Burrs.
Yeah, I got to take my mask off for this.
Go ahead.
I wonder what all the sworn personnel is doing here tonight. So today we began our budget hearings, and for the first time in a very long time, we heard about pay raises for sworn personnel, a $15 minimum wage. We heard some really neat stuff that should have been attended to a very long time ago, Mr. Chair, to start paying people what they're worth and being able to compete with other communities, and look forward to the next 6 weeks or maybe less of budget education. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Vice Chair,
No report, Mr. Chair.
Councilwoman Dotley,
No report.
Councilman Byrd.
No report.
Thank you, sir. That takes care of all of our items on the agenda for this afternoon. Moving now to persons wishing to address the council. Do we have any individuals here tonight by a show of hands that would like to address the council this evening? All right. I'm going to let our city attorney read the rules to address the council. And as soon as she gets through, you can come to the podium.
Anyone wishing to address the council will please line up behind the podium and speak at the microphone after being recognized by Chairman Henderson. If you will state your name and your district number for the council, that's appreciated. You'll have 3 minutes to speak about whatever is within the purview of the legislative and quasi judicial authority of this council. Thank you.
Mr. IT, would you give us 3 minutes on the clock? All right, go ahead, sir.
Good
Give us your name
afternoon.
and district number.
Good afternoon. My name is Edward Green Jr., and I'm from District 9. August the 14th of 1977, Officer Clarence E. Hamler, badge number 367, was fatally shot by 2 robbers at the Red Food Store on South Broad Street. The 14th of August, of this August, it will be 44 years. There is not a commemorative marker. There is not a sign. There is not anything that indicates that we recognize Officer Hamler. Councilwoman Byrd, you wonder why all the sworn officers are here today. This is a message from God that these individuals need to be recognized for the service that they render to our city, especially when they pay with their lives. It is not anything uncommon to ask that we recognize people who give their lives in the line of duty. I am requesting again, this is the second time that I've come before the City Commission requesting that Officer Hamler be given that recognition. To the chairman of this committee, I would like to ask that you would, at the end of my 3 minutes, give 3 minutes of silence for Officer Clarence Hamler, badge number 367, so that we will continue to let the public know that we have not forgotten Clarence. 44 years is a long time. I just celebrated 50 years of graduating from my high school. So I thank God by all of these officers present. I feel validated by making this appeal on behalf of Officer Hamler. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. And Mr. Green, I'll tell you what, well, hold on 1 second. I think we got Councilwoman Byrd that would like to.
So I was being a bit facetious, I know why they're here.
I know.
But I do need to tell you, this is the second time. And Mr. Chair, I think a moment of silence is not.
And I would tend to agree, and that's what I was going to say. I don't know that we would do a full 3 minutes, but we'll certainly recognize a moment of silence.
Thank you so very much.
So at this time, we will have a moment of silence, as Mr. Green has requested for Officer Hamler. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Thank
All right, who's next?
Good evening.
Hold on one second. We've lost, yeah, there we go. Go ahead. Give us your name and district, please.
This is regarding District 7, District 8. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to be heard today.
And your name, please?
My name is Christiane Maisch, and I have lived at 717 Battery Place for the past 10 years. Today, I'm speaking in behalf of many Battery Place residents. Some of them were able to join me this evening. And I'm here today because we're negatively affected by light pollution coming from the Manco Patton Tennis Club. They are in the process of updating the outdoor courts to sports stadium LED lighting. The old outdoor lighting was never an issue, but the new ones are causing significant light pollution and illumination inside of homes. We have also started collecting signatures. I brought some pictures with me that shows one court being lit and the impact it has on several homes. But there will be a total of 8 courts with this type of lighting. And we're wondering if we could pass them around if possible.
The pictures show on the right side, the illumination from the tennis court and the old lighting. The lighting is so significant. This is our home on Battery Place. That every single room that's facing the tennis courts have light, stadium lighting, all the way illuminating. My father, who lives right next to me on Battery Place, his home is also illuminated. You can see a picture of her bedroom where she's napping, and it's almost like daylight. I'm happy to hand this off. We've moved down to the basement, so as my father, so as residents from the condominium complex 737 and other individuals who own the large apartment complex.
Moving on, I have already brought the concerns to the general manager of the tennis club, but all of my suggestions and concerns were rejected. The light intensity is just too strong for a residential zone. Because I was unsuccessful, I'm asking for your help. There is a City of Chattanooga ordinance in the general regulations section 3338, which reads, exterior spotlighting or other illumination of non-residential uses or structures shall be directed away from any residential zones or uses. This translates exactly into our situation because our homes are illuminated. Mr. Randy Ridge, the code enforcement supervisor with the City of Chattanooga, came to my house this past Sunday and agreed that the lights are too bright and causing significant illumination inside and outside of homes. My husband and I, like he said, are sleeping in the basement right now because we can't get the rest we need with the lights in our bedroom. Even our blinds don't do the trick. McClellan Island is a bird sanctuary, an important part of our environment, and the wildlife is also affected. We're not.
I'm gonna have to ask you to stop there.
Yes.
We've got a 3-minute time limit on everybody. This is in Councilman Byrd's district, and Councilman Ledford, I apologize. You may have had a comment earlier, or is that about this? Okay.
Yes, and ma'am, thank you for coming down, and thank you all. Who all are here from the neighborhood? Okay. What have you all filed? You all filed a complaint. I think I got an email or talk about that you have filed a complaint
Yes.
already.
Yes.
And I think you all live in Rakita.
That is
Councilman
correct.
Dotless,
Yeah,
but
that's,
the
we're
tennis
right
court
at
is
the
in my-
border. Yes.
And I promise you that I will be in touch with you. I did receive your phone number. And we'll do everything in our power to get you out that basement. That is uncalled for. We do not appreciate that. And
One thing that I still want to mention is, we are good, we want to be good neighbors, and we're not rejecting that the tennis club is updating the lighting. It's just the wrong type of lighting in a residential zone.
We understand your quality of life means everything to us. So I will be in touch and Ms.
Thank
Dottie will
you.
be in touch and we will take care of the situation. As
We
best
really
can.
appreciate your time. Thank
Thank you
you.
all so much.
Councilman Ledford, I think you had a comment.
Yes, sir. Thank you. This is also a problem that we faced recently in District 4 with apartment buildings that have upgraded to LED lighting and removing of buffers between R1 properties. And I believe in that particular case, the city is actually taking the apartments to court because they refuse to collaborate with us. So I would ask that the city council and the city take a position of reviewing upgraded lighting so that it's not creating a nuisance to nearby residents, because that is now becoming something across this entire city. And I think we need to address this, and it's evident by what I see here today and what we've had happen in District 4 as well. Thank you, Chairman.
All right. Who'd like to address the council?
Hi, my name is Casey Crook. I live in District 3, and I'm here today to talk about the budget. I know you all have only had it for about 3 hours, and for most of that time, you've been in meetings. But I wanted to address kind of some of the process of the budget and public input and things like that. Particularly as we're still in or kind of moving back into a pandemic, it is important that I think, although you are still live streaming and archiving on YouTube meetings, I think it's still important to be able to take call-ins, not only for people that are sick or maybe COVID positive or exposed or things like that, still able to provide input, but also for disabled people and other people, especially during a budgeting time, where they may be able to bring concerns to their respective council people. And particularly, I wanted to call out kind of some confusion that I've had over the past year in getting involved with the budget and working through more line items and calling attention to certain line items about confusion in the process. Last year, I was looking through the budget and we put forth various amendments, and we were told that city council wouldn't amend it. It was too late into the process. And then city council put forth a survey, and then throughout the results of that survey, I'm talking with my hands way too much. Throughout the results of that survey, saying that it was too pushed by activist interests. And then city council has also pushed against budget feedback early on, particularly because I think it's been in the, not only has it been an election year, but it's also been in the court of the mayor more than city council. And so on top of like emailing my representative, calling my representative, like leaving voicemails, I'm not sure where my feedback is going, or what sort of avenues I have for providing input to the budget that could radically impact my life or the lives of my fellow Chattanoogan's. So I wanted to put forth that on top of the please allow call-ins. It's so much better to have people have less barriers of entry into getting engaged in the government than more. So, thank you.
I will mention on August the 31st, from 3 to 5, we will have a hybrid Zoom meeting where the public can and will be able to call into the city council to voice their input and their suggestions about the budget and the process. And as always, your best avenue is through your council person. Thank you. All right, sir. Give us 3 minutes again.
First, I want to say thanks to the council and Mayor Kelly and his staff for inviting us to attend tonight's meeting. I'm Officer Chris Mullenix. I'm also the vice president of our local FOP chapter. I live in District 2. I've been an officer with the Chattanooga Police Department for 9 years. I grew up in this city and want what's best for the citizens of Chattanooga. Tonight, myself and several officers of different roles in the department will be addressing several issues facing the Chattanooga Police Department. You'll hear tonight that we're seriously underpaid, seriously understaffed, and our applications are down to historic lows. You'll hear how our low staffing affects our abilities to train officers and makes them better for the Chattanooga citizens. You'll also hear that we're losing officers at a rate never experienced before by the Chattanooga Police Department. You'll hear that we're the busiest police organization in this county and how this is affecting our officers. You'll hear how this pay disparity does not allow us to put the best product in the form of the Chattanooga Police Department on the street to serve our community. If the city council, the citizens of Chattanooga truly want a diverse, well-trained professional police department, we must address the pay disparity now. The Chattanooga Police Department is currently the lowest paid police department in its 6-state region. We are underpaid by 25% when compared to other cities in the region and the average in that region. This is based on any metric: median income, housing prices, rental prices, and cost of living. The starting pay for a day one patrol officer is $36,990. That's first day on the street, not in the academy. Other departments locally start anywhere from $41,000 to $48,000, and we're losing officers every week to these other local departments. Regionally, for cities comparable in size, crime rates, and call load, our starting pay is not even in the same ballpark. Nashville Metro starting pay is $55,000, Murfreesboro 46, Memphis 44, Huntsville 47, and Atlanta 48. Chattanooga Police starting pay is 36. We cannot recruit or retain quality, diverse, and well-trained officers with this pay disparity. It's my belief that police in general will never get paid what they merit, and we as Chattanooga police officers are aware of that. You will never pay these officers enough to handle the situations they handle, see the things that they see, and do the things that we as a city ask them to do on a daily basis. But these officers are okay with that. They chose this career path to serve the citizens of Chattanooga. No one chooses a career in law enforcement to get rich. What we do ask is that you pay us a fair wage, a wage that allows us to provide for our families, a wage that allows us to hire diverse, talented, and well-trained officers. We as a department want to put the best product on the street to serve the city. And until this pay disparity is addressed, we won't be able to do that. Thank you.
Go ahead, sir. We'll get the clock.
All right, good evening. My name is Marlon Wilson. I'm District 5. Isaiah Hester is my representative. Thanks for the privilege and opportunity to share a few thoughts regarding the pay issue at hand. I've been assigned as a recruiter investigator now for approximately 9 years, and it is becoming more and more difficult to recruit new applicants. We're in precarious times, and unfortunately, law enforcement is not a popular profession to some based on the scrutiny that's associated with this profession. We have attended several career fairs this year in late March, trying to increase our department new application numbers. We attended MTSU's Criminal Justice Career Fair and also the United States-based Career Fair in Fort Campbell, Kentucky, which has over 30,000 soldiers. We were very unsuccessful at both career fairs due to our current starting salary. There were a plethora of other agencies present there, too, from the Southeast. Some of their starting salaries began with the first year at $52,827, and by year 3, they were at $64,371. Our top out currently, after 12 years, is $44,858. Because we're one of the lowest paid departments within the Southeast, if our pay scale remains the same or slightly increased without our starting salary is at least $45,000 or higher, we're not going to be competitive to attract great qualified candidates. For example, in 2018 to 2019, we had over 710 applicants to apply with our department. In 2020, we had less than 100 applicants to apply. We presented less than 45 applicants to the executive staff for their consideration for this August 27th upcoming academy. Some of our top premier candidates selected withdrew from the process at the last minute due to the starting salary. We haven't had one lateral candidate to transfer over to our department since 2018. A lateral candidate is a certified police officer who's currently employed at another agency. If he or she was to be hired at our department, They will have an abbreviated academy, which would in turn have them out protecting the city streets in 10 or less weeks versus 22 weeks. Again, the disadvantages of them transferring over to our department resolves around the lack of pay. Finally, CPD officers as a whole are asking for your support and endorsement for this new pay proposal. All of us are potentially putting our lives on the line every time we put this uniform on and go to work. Thanks for your time and your strong support.
Chair.
Good evening. My name's Ed Buckman. I'm an investigator with the Chattanooga Police Department. I've been here almost 10 years. I live in Sale Creek, so I live in the county. I'm currently the president of the IBPO, and I have been for about a year. I've served on the board for almost 3 years, and we represent about 200 Chattanooga police officers, as well as Hamilton County Sheriff's deputies. I was called tonight to speak about some of the reprimand or the repercussion for having being short-staffed. As it stands right now, in the last year or yearly average, 132,000 calls for service Chattanooga Police Department received. And that's compared to the next highest in our region, which is 35,000. That's going to be Hamilton County. So 135,000 versus Hamilton County's 35,000. Our current slotted patrol officers is 248, and Hamilton County is going to be 100. So that 248, that's how many officers were budgeted for, patrol officers were budgeted for on the street. We are short on that right now. We are hemorrhaging officers on a weekly basis. So for each one of those officers that we don't have on the street, our average call, if we were fully staffed at 248, our average calls would be 534 per year, 534 calls for service per year if we're fully staffed. We're not fully staffed, and each one of those officers that we don't have, those are calls for service that is being spread loaded. Some of the dangers that we're looking at when we are short-staffed is that officers are going to calls by themselves. We have a weapon disorder with a weapon or whatever it might be, that these officers are tied up and this officer is forced to go to try to help out the citizens. It's not something that they are discouraged about, but they need that backup. We need those officers on the street. Officer burnout. We're getting these new guys in that they're getting hammered with these calls for service, and with a short amount of time with the extra calls for service, they're getting officer burned out 2 or 3 years. One quick statistic as my time is running out. I did a search for the Amazon Fulfillment Center. Their starting pay is $37,000. Our starting pay is $36,000. Their minimal requirements for working at Amazon, it's a great job. It's a great, path. However, our requirements are massive. We're seeking college graduates. We have 22-week academy that you're expected to be able to shoot. You're supposed to be able to render aid, mental health, de-escalation. We're expecting all of these things, but we're not competitive in pay. And so I would ask for the consideration, and I thank each and every one of you for your support and your time tonight. Thank you.
Good evening to the council. I am Sergeant Jason Holmes of the Neighborhood Bureau Division, currently over District 6. I'm here to speak to you all about the recruiting, hiring, and maintaining minority officers in our department. Currently, right now, as we all know, not even a year ago, the whole issue with George Floyd, and also previous to that, the Ferguson situation. There are many, many departments around the nation currently right now that are doing the same thing, as in diversifying their police departments. Currently right here in Chattanooga, Hamilton County is also in the same current state, are trying to hire more minorities compared to us. I had a chance about a year and a half ago to talk to some students at UTC in the criminal justice program. One of the issues that they brought up when speaking with them about joining our police department is, what is you all starting pay? As right now, of the major cities in Tennessee, Memphis, Nashville, and also Knoxville, they all start out higher than we do, which is very, very competitive trying to speak to somebody of the minority community to come to us and not go to them. So right now, it's a struggle to try to convince those that are wanting, that we need also within our community here in Chattanooga to join our department when the first question they ask is, how much do you start? It's already been said before, we start around 35, found out not even a month ago that even working at the Hamilton County Jail starts out at 38. So if you had a choice between us and going there, you're gonna go there. So I'm humbly asking for the city council to help us with that one major hurdle that we have within our department of hiring minorities is to get over that pay. If we can raise it up to standard, we have a better chance of recruiting minorities. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Michael Joyner. I live in District 3. I am a second shift patrol supervisor in the downtown district. And I'm a 19-year-old veteran of the Chattanooga Police Department. And it is a pleasure to be allowed to present to you tonight. All I would like to do is just go over some numbers with you. Since January of 2019, Chattanooga Police Department Academy has graduated 55 officers into service to this community. During the same period, we have lost 112 officers. So we have doubled the number leaving that we have been able to produce. We currently have an academy in training of 23 additional officers. They still have an additional 4 months to go. They are sworn in tomorrow morning and they will be allowed to patrol solo in December. This department and this city needs young officers. They bring the newest training with them to the street. They also bring in new ideas and new ways of looking at situations that we've dealt with for years. These ideas are what help keeps us current and promotes new solutions. The training and skills provided by our academy to these new officers make them top-tier officers within the state. These same skills make them an asset to every other department. Our officers graduate ready to administer Narcan, apply a tourniquet, deal with a mental health crisis, return a lost family member to their family, and a multitude of other calls each and every day. Other agencies are seeking out these new officers. To hire one of our officers away from us saves that department the time and the money we invested to get them to that point. What we are hoping for is an update of our current pay plan to simply industry standards. What other agencies are willing to pay our officers, we should be willing to pay them not to go to other agencies. These young officers are the leaders of the future. This simple update will allow us to recruit and retain the candidates that we need and to make them officers that the city can be proud of. Thank you for your time tonight.
Councilman Hester.
On behalf of the citizens of Chattanooga, let me echo the sentiments of my colleagues. Want to thank you for your sacrifice, your service, your contribution, and your cry has been heard. We will address the pay issue in our next budget. Thank you.
Hello, Council. My name is Corey. Yes.
Councilman Byrd.
Thank you all for coming. I just want to tell you, I truly appreciate you being here. It's a cry for help, and I do understand. I do also understand that George Floyd didn't happen here in Chattanooga. You know, I understand Breonna Taylor didn't happen in Chattanooga, but these things do happen. And also these things didn't happen in Chattanooga. It's people in Chattanooga that have a long list of things that did happen, you know, and a lot of you probably wasn't on the force. A lot of you probably didn't have anything to do with it. But just like every officer is not a racist or an egotistical prick, how they would want to put you as to be, every kid walking around the community with a gun is not a gangbanger. Some of them are just trying to get home. We have a huge, huge job, all of us. We have to work together. And I know the work and sacrifice that you guys do, and I support you 100%. And anything that I can do to support you and get you to where you need to be. You have my full support, and thank you for your service.
Okay. Give me 3 minutes and give us your name and district number, please.
Thank you, Council. Corey Evett, District 5. I didn't plan on speaking tonight, and apologies for jumping up at the last minute, but I just wanted to echo some of the sentiments here. I've been critical of police leadership in the past, but I do believe these officers should be paying more. I think one of the biggest things when it comes to retention that I'd like for everyone to consider is it's about low pay, but it's also about high responsibility. So when it comes to what each one of these officers has to deal with, I'd like us to consider how we can reimagine public safety when we consider this budget. If we can have specialized officers that focus on treating other needs, officers that maybe don't always need to show up with a gun, officers that can handle certain types of calls, so that we don't have to have an officer that is a Renaissance man or woman. The only other point that I wanted to bring up, speaking of woman, is that we can see by the audience here tonight that women are lacking in our police force. I did some data. I'm a senior analyst. I've looked at our police force. It's about 10% female. That is below the national average. It's far too low for any employment, really. I just wanted to highlight there is an initiative called 30 by 30 that several police departments across the country are participating in. Excuse me. From Dallas to Denver to Miami. I would like to see Chattanooga be a part of that pledge. It pledges that 30% of police departments will employ female officers by the year 2030. So I would just like for everyone to consider that going forward. And I thank you for your time.
Okay, anyone else that would like to address the council this afternoon? Councilman or Vice Chair Smith? Oh. You wanna go? Okay.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ernest Henderson. I have come before this council February of last year and announced that the police chief was leading a harassment plot against me. I was arrested twice by him, by his officers. I was, not only was I arrested twice, on April the 15th of this year, I was pulled over and about 8 police officers dragged me out my car. And it's just a consistent problem with the police officers of Chattanooga, with me. I mean, he created a car accident on December the 15th. I've been I was illegally evicted out of my apartment on December the 8th. Fraudulent paperwork was filed by the court clerk. I have the documentations in my car. I went to the courthouse to get a response. I wrote an appeal on the eviction, and the paperwork has different signatures and different dates and different court case numbers, and it's all fraudulent. And I'm giving an answer, but no paperwork. And it's just a consistent fraudulent practice by the Chattanooga Police Department. Just a consistent fraudulent practice. And it's full of racism. It's full of hate. And Chief David Moody got to be the most ignorant person in the world that you have as chief of police. And so is his officers.
Sir, I'm gonna have to ask you not to denigrate any police officer.
Well, he can arrest me fraudulently,
all I'm gonna
have
do is
me
ask
arrested,
you not
and you
to
complaining
denigrate
that I'm characterizing
any
him
of our
about what
officers
I think he
by name.
is. You mad because I characterize him for what I think he is, but yet you're not saying February 18th, you didn't open your mouth when I
Okay.
stood here
Sir,
and mentioned to the council that
you
I
can
was being
address this
harassed and
council.
illegally arrested.
You can
Say
address the
something about that.
council, but don't denigrate someone personally, please. Thank you.
First of all, freedom of speech say I can talk about him, his wife, his children.
No, sir, it does not. No, sir, it does not. It does not. We
Yes,
have
it does.
We have rules to address the
Well, tell me
council.
what you think about the false arrest. Tell me about that. What do you think about that? You're silent. Don't speak no better than you living. Don't speak no better than you living. And my problem is that the Black Female City Council, you was quiet on February 18th. But yet when you got it stopped, you proceeded to ask them to give you special privileges. But yet I'm before the council telling them that I'm being harassed by the police department and I'm being harassed by them.
Sir, I'm gonna have to let
You
you
didn't
know
speak
that your
last time, you
time is up.
continue to
Your
be
time is
silent.
up, sir.
I'm not, I've been harassed for 2.5 years since I've been living here.
Madam
You
Attorney,
cannot limit me to 3 minutes because you
yeah,
don't want to respond.
sir, I can limit you to 3 minutes.
I think he's the most ignorant person.
Council, given the situation, what is the pleasure of the council at this time? We're adjourned.
That's what racists do. I'm not surprised.
David Moody.